Welcome to this episode. And today we are going to be talking about my worst session ever. From beginning to end, it was the absolute worst session ever. I've never told this story, so let's get into it. Welcome to the Photography Business Mastery for Moms podcast. This podcast is designed specifically for moms who are passionate about photography and entrepreneurship. If you are a mom with a photography business, striving to achieve balance between growing your business and spending quality time with your family, you're in the right place. In each episode, we delve into the strategies, tips, and insights tailored to help you thrive in both your professional and personal life. From marketing techniques to time management hacks, we provide tangible information to help you scale your photography business while prioritizing your family. Join us as we explore how to navigate the unique challenges and joys of being a mompreneur in the photography industry. Let's empower each other to achieve success and fulfillment in both our businesses and families. So as photographers, we want to do what's very best for every single one of our clients. And if that means having multiple phone calls, multiple text messages, emails back and forth, that is something we do as a service for our clients. That is something that I do for my clients all the time, and I have absolutely no problem with it. I would rather have more clients ask questions so that there's no questions later or any surprises later. But this interaction I want to talk about is what we figured out was a scam. Yes, we were almost scammed. But I think there's a big lesson to learn here because with that interaction with the client, yes, they were a paying client. Yes, they did pay for what they got. We'll go over all of it. So one Tuesday or Wednesday evening, I got a phone call around 8:00. I am always telling my students to answer the phone. Always answer the phone, no matter if it says spam likely, or if it's just a random number, or if it doesn't have a check mark next to it. Always answer the phone. My voice as I get on the phone is, "Thank you for calling Stinsman Photography. This is Jackie. How may I help you?" And sometimes it goes to spam. Sometimes it's that like fax number, and then you hang up and you block the number. There's only certain things we can do. But there are so many clients who have booked directly through a phone call real quick or ask questions about pricing that I would have never booked those clients if I didn't answer the phone. So if you're not answering the phone, if you're not a phone person, get to be a phone person. Having conversation back and forth with people is going to answer all of those questions ahead of time before they actually book you. Also, design consultations are super important for this as well. So there's multiple ways that you can communicate with your clients, and phone calls, I definitely recommend. So starting off this conversation with the client, it wasn't a red flag situation. It was more of a last minute situation. It was a maternity session. She was already 36 weeks pregnant. She wanted to get in ASAP, looked at my calendar, actually had bookings available for that weekend on Saturday. Reached out to hair and makeup same night. I think we're at this point, it's almost 9:00. Rebecca, my hair and makeup artist who has been working with me for a few years now, is really communicative and very good with text messaging back and forth. So she said she was available as well. So the client and I are having conversation. We go over pricing twice on the phone. That's one thing when I have a phone call or my assistant has a phone call with a potential client, is that we go over pricing, every single piece of pricing, repeated everything. And then I also sent a text message so that I knew that she understood that there was a session fee and then you purchased your digital images after that. So a lot of times I will get those questions. If they don't come from the website, they find you like straight from Google. Sometimes people just call right away without looking at websites, and it's totally fine. But a lot of this information is on the website. We're always going to get those people that don't read. So just have patience and have grace with those people. So had the 2 times on the phone call going over pricing. I sent an email with our PDF. Says everything right there. Like, it's very descriptive. And then I also sent a text message with everything that we talked about so that there was multiple ways for her to see the conversation and the pricing and what was going to happen from there. Everything was agreed upon. Contracts were sent. We didn't have time for a Zoom consultation because technically those weeks I was either off during the day or I was already booked up. So I didn't have any Zoom consultations available. So I said, let's text back and forth any ideas you have, any questions you have. Hair and makeup is phenomenal. So if you have any questions or, want to send me any examples of hair and makeup, I can send that to her as well. So we get to the day before the session, still lots of questions, especially with pricing, which this is where the red flags started. Obviously, there was multiple communication efforts to go over that pricing, and I wasn't sure if it was something just not paying attention to or something that was like everybody else does it another way, and she assumed that it was done that way, even though it was sent multiple times. But again, I kept reiterating what the pricing was and how the session was going to go. So day of, confirm, hair and makeup is going to be to you by 10. You'll be to us by, I think it was 1. It may have moved back to 2. I can't remember exactly. And everything went well. So I get a text message from hair and makeup saying she's not happy with her hair and makeup. She wants me to redo everything. And I'm like, okay, whatever you feel is best. I trust your opinion. And she's like, she's asking for things that either I don't do or I don't have, or is not something that is like a regular hair and makeup thing. Like she's asking for things that are just a little too much. I said, whatever your best opinion is, just let her know. And I'll talk to her when she gets here as well. Make sure that everything is good. So when she was done redoing everything, she called me and said, she says she's happy now. She doesn't seem happy. I don't know what else to do. Like I've redone everything. She wants to use her own stuff, which is fine. I'll use it. And I did, but I just don't think she's happy. So I just texted the client quickly. I said, I hope everything's okay. I will see you soon. Let me know if you need anything. And she said, everything was fine. I'm on the way. Fine. She gets here, looks beautiful. She said that she changed either a lip or she took or added, I think it was she added more eyes or something like that for like a deeper smoky eye, which it was a very deep smoky eye as it was. I think it was trendy what she was looking for, and it was just not something that we present in our businesses, hair and makeup or myself. If this was something that I had known in advance, this is a learning lesson for me as well, then I would have reached out to hair and makeup and said, this is what she's looking for. And she would have said, I don't do that. I don't know where she found that. I don't know how I can do that kind of thing. So she comes in with, we do up to 3 different outfits for her session. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So I said to them when we were finished, it was just a mom and a dad. So took maybe 30-35 minutes in between changes as well, because we weren't running around after toddlers and doing a whole bunch of like proppy sets or anything. It was very simple, just 3 different types of outfits. So I said, I'm going to run inside. I'm going to upload everything to the iPad. Since we were so busy at that time, we did a same day ordering appointment to get the pictures back to her. And I said, here's the pricing guide, has everything that we spoke about so that you can double check anything. If you have any questions, let me know. I walk out and I go to the computer, upload everything. Beautiful gallery, like absolutely beautiful. I typically show at least 100 images, and I think I showed 120. And come back out. What we do here is we set up the iPad so it does a slideshow first, so you see everything straight out of camera. So if there was things on the side or sides of paper that need to be fixed, I explain that to her ahead of time. So she's looking at the photos, she's loving them, she's talking to her husband about them. And then what I say is, part of the program is you can look at each photo and you can click love it, maybe, or no. Goes through everything. She loves so many photos. She wants the whole gallery. Perfect, fine, not a problem at all. So pricing comes to this plus your tax is this. And I literally was just about to swipe the card. And thank goodness I said those prices and the final prices with tax, because they both went, oh, no, 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 no. Like I was shocked. I literally was like, oh, but we talked about this and it's right here on the page. Like and right before I went to swipe the card, I literally said, okay, you want this package. It's this amount of money plus your tax. So it comes to this. Yep, no problem. Said the amount, went to swipe the card. Oh, no, no. It was very, very weird. Very, very weird. And my heart sank and I was like, but you want the full package. We do want the full package. But what happens to the session fee? Well, the session fee is for our time and for hair and makeup. And this is where it started to get like a light bulb moment for me where I was like, she's trying to get one over on me. And she goes, well, I didn't even like my hair and makeup. And I was like, oh, you said everything was fine. Like, and you just changed your lips or whatever it was, the eyelids or whatever. I said, I still have to pay her for her time. Like, that's just part of the package. And, all the session fee, the rest of it is for my time to set everything up and shoot and set up and all of that. And she goes, well, everybody else brings the session fee off of the final package. And I'm like, that's something that we spoke about on multiple occasions, phone call, email, and in the text message. So there's multiple places that it is basically CYA, covering my ass, covering your ass, CYA. I took a moment and I took a deep breath and I thought to myself, okay, first of all, how are we going to rectify this? And I said to her, if this price is not what you want to pay, that's totally fine. You can bring them down to 15 images. No, 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 no. I want all the images. I'm like, okay, well, that's the price. It's here. We talked on the phone. We talked text messages. And it was the longest 5 minutes of my life where we literally went through every single form of communication that we had, that we went over pricing. So there wasn't a point on my end that I missed something. If it was something that I had missed or not communicated, then I would reconsider something like that, discount or taking the session fee off of the final pricing. But it was straight there. It was said multiple times. So there was no way to miscommunicate anything. So then she goes, well, I don't want anything. I'm like, are you sure? Because if you don't want anything, then I don't keep the images. I am not going to keep up storage on my end if someone doesn't like their photos. But it's obvious that she loved her photos. She was saying, oh my gosh, I love this pose, talking to her husband, I want a wall piece, all of this stuff. And that's where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to win in this situation. And I said, okay. I closed the iPad. I took that right away, just in case pictures were going to be taken on the phone. It's happened before. It's unfortunate, but if someone is going to take those photos from my iPad and take a picture of the iPad and claim it as their own or print it or whatever, please. It's not going to hurt me in the long run. It's really not. It's not going to offend me either. If that is something that person feels is necessary and they're going to take from me, basically stealing. We all know it's stealing. You're stealing, you're screenshotting, you're taking the photos with the watermark. It's stealing. But if someone feels that they need to do that, I'm not going to argue with it. Why am I going to argue over something that they weren't going to buy anyway? So I took the iPad. I walked right back over here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm in my little coffee bar area. And she stood up and walked out. And right here, right where I'm looking behind the camera is a window to my front of the studio. So I could see that they were leaving. And it was like a slow leave. It was like, is this the right decision we're making? Right? Not even 10 minutes later, I get a threatening text message. I am going to talk bad about your business. I want all those photos. You better give me all those photos. It was like shocking. And this again was part number 2 of where I thought I was being scammed. So this must have been something that they have done in the past where they threaten and they say they're going to do stuff and people just give it to them. At this point, I was pissed. I was like, you're going to waste my time. You're going to say the photos are beautiful. You want all the photos. And then you're going to say, You hated your session. You're going to write a bad review about me. You're never going to come back to me ever again, but you want me to give you something? Absolutely not. Especially when I know for a fact I did everything in my power for them to know pricing. Crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's, because I just had that tiny little red flag in the beginning since it was so late. I get clients all the time that come late. It's okay, no big deal. But to say that I didn't tell them pricing when there was at least 3, if not probably 8 times that I told them pricing, that's not my fault. That's the client not paying attention to the pricing. So I said right back to them, you were given the pricing. Everything is in email. Everything is in text message. Everything is written down and documented. If you would like to write a bad review, I would be happy to respond to your review with exactly timestamps of how many times we spoke about pricing. Follow up. How about you just send me 10 pictures and the rest unedited? Absolutely not. Follow up. And so this went on for hours. I'm not even kidding you. I had a knot in my stomach. I lost my appetite the rest of the day. My husband was saying to me, why are you so anxious? It was because this person was now harassing me for these photos that she was not going to get if she did not pay for them. And I was not letting up. I have been in business. It was just about 10 years when this happened last year, right in the fall. I opened up my business in October of 2013, and this was probably September or October of 2023. So I've been through a lot of different situations, this being far worse for an actual client, and I was not going to be manipulated. So what I learned from this point forward was writing down all of the conversations that we had, either notes or timestamps, email communication. So sending your PDF if it's attached to the bottom so that it's there. It's there. Phone calls, talking about it on multiple occasions, saying it out loud. Don't be embarrassed about your pricing. Your pricing is your pricing for whatever pricing reason it is. Don't be embarrassed by your pricing. So I knew all of my T's were crossed and my I's were dotted. This person was trying to manipulate me and get what they wanted, and they didn't. So in the end, we decided that she would get 10 digital images for $300 because at that point, I was done. I was like, this is what you get. I choose the photos. You do not get a say. I will not retouch anything. It will only be cropped straight out of camera, what you saw on the computer or on the iPad, and you will sign a contract that you are to download these photos, and we have zero communication after that. We are done as a client. And again, hours of back and forth and hours and hours. I finally said, take it or leave it. I will delete these photos because I knew at this point that she was harassing me to get what she wanted and she wasn't going to get it. She paid it. She did finally pay it. I sent her the photos. Well, first she paid it. She signed the contract and then I sent her the photos. I was not going to send her anything without a payment and a contract. So if she were to sue me or come back to me and say, you didn't give me my photos, it's right here. This is what you got for all the communication that we had, for the pricing you paid, and the agreement that we have that I would pick those photos and you would download them, and that's it. One thing I do want to mention what she said in it was, if you just send me all the pictures, I will refer all my friends and family to you and I'll send you all these clients. First of all, why do I want you to refer me to your friends and family? I hope that they are better clients, but I don't want anything to do with you ever again. I'm not even kidding you. Like, please do not come back. So what I learned from that situation, you're going to get bad clients. You're going to have hard situations, but you need to stick to your goals, your values, your pricing, and your own value. Don't just give in to somebody who's going to harass you and threaten you don't do it. Which then brings me to a second almost client communication that gave me red flags from the very beginning. So I had someone reach out for a newborn session and baby was already here. Happens all the time. Totally fine. Second baby for this person. And either we were talking on Facebook and then we started text messaging because it was just easier. I was 38 weeks pregnant at this point with my third child. So I had said to her, no, maybe I was 37 because I gave birth at 38. So I said to her, I'm 37 weeks pregnant. At this point, I did not expect to go early. And I said, things may change, but I have availability, let's just say this Thursday at 10 a.m. And she had said, well, can we do earlier than that? So I said, the earliest that I could do is 9:30 because my kids go to a summer camp at 9. So by the time I drop them off and get back, I'll make sure everything is ready and we can do 9:30. And she said, okay, that's fine, but I need to be done by 11. And this was for a newborn session. And I said, well, our sessions are up to 3 hours and it just gives us the time in case of baby changing, feeding. And she had very specific ideas that she wanted to do for her session. And I said, I would definitely like to have more time. Is there a specific reason why we need to be done by 11? Well, my toddler has to go for a nap at 12. Totally understandable. I get it. I don't want to miss a nap schedule as well. But at this point, I had said, well, I don't know if I can give you everything that you want because she had sent very specific ideas that she wanted. And I said, for all of the ideas that you want, I don't think I can do that for you. And she said to me, why can't you start earlier so that you can accommodate me? And I said, well, there is no way I can get back from dropping my 2 children off at a summer camp back in time because I can't drop them off earlier. I can't do any earlier. Like, this is what I can do for you. And I start my newborns at 10 a.m. for a reason so that I can grab bagels or donuts or whatever it is for my clients. But if I'm not going to be able to do that, then I can come in earlier. And it just was like, this is not a good sign. And one thing I did forget to mention was when we were talking about the session fee, I said it includes hair and makeup for yourself. So it's one less thing you have to worry about. I say that to everybody. And the text I got back was, well, why do I need hair and makeup? And I said, it's just part of our services. We provide that for all of our moms. We've never had a mom complain about having hair and makeup because it's one less thing for them to have to worry about, especially with a toddler and a newborn. Well, I don't need hair and makeup. I'm picking one picture of us as a family. Okay, that's fine. I can take off the price of hair and makeup. We don't need hair and makeup there. If that is something you do not want. So that was also another red flag. So the way clients are communicating with you is going to give you those red flags, or it's going to say, is this the type of client I want? And at this point, when we had the hair and makeup discussion and we had the nap times discussion, and there was something else that it was like, okay, strike 3. This is enough. I've had enough of this. I'm 37 weeks pregnant. I don't need to shoot this session. And I kindly said to her, because of the things that you want specifically for your session and the accommodations that I don't feel I can make for you and get all of what you want done within an hour and a half of a newborn session, I think that it would be best if we just part ways. And here are 2 other photographers who are available for the same date and time and will be able to provide a better service for you. I'm not scared to refer out something that I either can't do, don't want to do, or if I'm just completely being disrespected by a potential client. So my advice from this long-winded podcast about my terrible client experiences, and it is rare. I mean, it was rare that these things happened last year while I was pregnant. I don't get clients like this. I attract the type of client that I want. And maybe it was something I was putting out into the universe that, I wasn't being so positive and maybe non-positive clients were coming to me. I don't know. But it's like I said, very rare. And it's been years since I've had clients like that. But I've gotten to the point where I'm okay saying no. And it's okay for you to say no as well. Know your worth, know your value. Don't give in to doing something that you don't want to or giving something to a client that doesn't deserve it. This episode is sponsored by Flowdesk. Flowdesk is the most modern, beautifully branded newsletter system for photographers. Use our affiliate link below for a free trial and 50% off your first year.